Yeah. Hey guys, so I'm finally back. It's been a long while since my last video, but let's get started again. Let's get this YouTube train kind of rolling, yeah? So what we're gonna look at today is percussion massage guns. What can they do? And what's the main purpose? How can you use them? How can a professional like me use them? And what's like the best use case for them? Because they're kind of all the hype have been for a while now, and I got one in the clinic and been using like daily, torturing the device. So I kind of have a good idea of what they can do, what they can't do. So let's take a look at what device we're going to be looking at today. So is that upside down? Yeah, okay, let's try like this. Is the Hypervolt no, that's wrong. It's the Hyperice Hypervolt Plus. It should be a decent gun. And I'm not gonna go totally into the specs of it. I'm gonna go through like the main features of one of these devices. Because when it comes down to it, one of the problems, and I'm gonna highlight this as well, is that we have no literature describing which features works better. So any kind of postulation from my part on why this would be better compared to something else it would be purely speculative. So, but when you buy like a percussion massage device, you'll typically get the massage gun itself. You'll get a range of different tips for it, ranging from different use cases. So there's usually a soft one with air in it, so it kind of doesn't hit too hard. There's typically the ball, which is like if a cork ball, it feels like it's not totally solid, so it won't hurt if you hit some skeletal system or some bone. And it's round all the way, so you can use it sideways or directly onto points. Then there's typically a big flat head, and this is just like a plastic thing. It has no give to it, so if you hit something that's hard with this, it's probably gonna hurt. Then you get this fork, which have different use cases. You can get around muscles easier, and you can grab them. I would say this is not one of the most used items. And then you have also usually the pointy little tip here. And this is also a hard plastic. It can get deep into tissue. I would use this to get deep into stuff. And again, you have to know kind of where you're aiming, because if you hit something hard with this, it's also gonna hurt. So let me put on the soft head for you, and we can just briefly go over what the hell a dude like this does. So they almost all work the same way. You have the mechanism to put it on is just you push it in, and it kind of there's a little O-ring on it that kind of seals it in place. And you can also hear it when you pull it off. It kind of pops off, so it's kind of a vacuum seal you get on these. To turn the Hyperice on, or the Hypervolt Plus, this is called, there's a tab in the bottom, and it lights up in the back. In the bottom here, it tells you the battery status. The 3 dots here in the middle, I'll show you. I'll just turn it on. And you can see if I push on here, 1 lights up, harder, 2, and really deep, all 3 lights up. And on the top here is your power indicator, how much force or the hertz it's going on, how fast it goes. So it goes to next level, highest level, push 1 more time, and it goes off. So that's kind of everything this does. You can interchange the batteries, and this is mostly important for how I use it in a professional setting, and you might be using these multiple therapists during the day. You'll run out of battery eventually. You'll have maybe around 60 to 90 minutes actual use of this dude. So having extra batteries to swap out in the clinic would be very nice. But I would say this is not the easiest battery to change, because you have to push kind of really hard and pop it out. And then you have the battery just like this. I can never forget, I always forget which way it goes back in. I guess it'll let me know, yeah? Prong, 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 front. Oh, it says front here. So we all learned something today. And it's back in. So before I got one of these in the clinic, I was kind of skeptical about them, as so many therapeutic devices come out all the time, and they all claim to be like the device that does it all. And percussion massages are doing exactly the same. The range of marketing hype that goes into these is astronomical, and they don't really have anything to back it up. So I'll give an example here. So I'll go on the good old interweb. And what we're looking for is actually science-backed evidence that these things does anything at all. So let's see here. My number one go-to place for stuff like this is, as always, PubMed. So we'll jump right in, got it right here. Bam. And this will be listed in the science community. These would be listed as a percussion massage. So we'll just try and do a broad search for percussion. Percussion massage. So let's see what we get here. We have 19 results, and I'll tell you right away that most of them have nothing to do with this. Let's see, there's a bunch of stuff about hearts. We have 19 results, as I told you. So we have the top 3 results are actually relating to percussion massage guns. The first one is kind of important because it shows that it's actually possible to get rhabdomyolysis from using the massage gun, and that's an inflammatory condition in the muscles. You don't want that. And that's probably from using it way too much. Somebody has probably been using it on sore muscles, getting even more sore muscles, and thought, okay, I'll just use it even more. But again, I haven't actually read the article, it's just on the top of my head. And we have one called The Acute Effects of Percussion Massage Treatment with a Hypervolt Device on Plantar Flexor Muscles, Range of Motion and Performance. I've read this one. And it doesn't really say much. It's a relatively small study. So what they've done here is they wanted to find out if using it for 5 minutes on the calf muscles would give you an increased range of motion. which is also one of the marketing words they use. You'll get more range of motion from using the gun, and they'll also see if it gives you a higher MVC, that's a maximum voluntary contraction, if you get stronger from using it. This is only on 16 healthy male volunteers, tested 2 separate days with either a 5 minutes massage treatment on the calf muscles with a Hypervolt device, or a control condition where they're only sitting. So what they find in this one is that the maximum dorsal flexion, that's where you take the foot up, increased following the massage treatment by 18.4%. That's quite a lot. That's significant. But what they also found is that even though that range of motion increased, the maximum voluntary contraction did not change following the treatment with this dude. So what it says is that the range of motion gains is kind of similar to that of a massage therapist. If you go to get a massage from a professional, you might get the similar results. But of course, a massage therapist you can't put him in a bag and just carry him around as you can with this dude. So taking it on trips and stuff like that is quite important feature of it, that you can actually get a huge benefit from this handheld device. So let's see another of the studies. So we have also another study, also quite small, that shows that the onset of DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness you get from like training, could be minimized with the use of the percussion massager, like the equivalent of a massage therapist. So again, it's quite good to use both before exercise and after exercise. What you of course won't get in the massage gun is the knowledge of what muscles are implicated, where it's best to use it, and so you have to have some kind of anatomical knowledge to yourself, or just kind of point it where you think it'll do the most work. Of course, there's plenty of guidelines on the websites of these places. So there may be 1 or 2 studies actually saying a bit about this, and I would say I would not conclude anything out of just 2 studies. So still, I got the device, and my thought process behind getting this device is if I can help muscles actually relax and like decrease tension in muscles on my patients as I work on them, it would be like a huge benefit, because I have to work with my hands for the rest of my life. So that was my thought process with this. So I got the device, and I was kind of curious to see, what would my patients think of it, and how would I actually myself like to use this, because I use this privately as well, of course. So getting in the clinic was actually a really pleasant surprise, because when I turn it on, as I do now, it's not a noisy device. I can easily communicate with my patients, even though I'm having this set to on. And that was number one concern, was would this just be a stressful experience for everyone? But it's not. It can make a bit of noise when you kind of get into it. You hear this clicking noise. So when you push in certain directions, it for sure can make a bit more noise, but it's not to the point that it's impossible to talk together. And my next concern was, can I actually help decrease tension in my patients using this? Because when we as manual therapists work like in larger muscle groups, often we have to decrease tension in one area to get down to where we actually have to work in more detail. And the work of just having muscle decrease tension is really hard on the joints, especially the thumbs and what you use. And we have techniques to alleviate this, but it's still really hard work to do for 8 hours a day. So I was really curious about this, and I was really happy to discover that actually, yes, this can really decrease tension in large muscle groups and small muscles as well, through relatively a few minutes work of this. So it really cuts my time doing more intricate therapy. I have more time to do what I need to do and don't waste as much time just having larger muscles decrease tension. I don't know what's ringing up there. I'll go turn it off. Well, no, I was really happy to see that it actually had a place in my daily clinical work, and it could actually spare my hands and arms for a lot of really hard labor. So I could probably last a few more years doing what I do. So that's really good. So what about outside clinical use? Would this be a good device to buy for you at home? Well, I'd say yes and no, because it takes a special kind of athlete to actually use this extensively, because they're expensive to acquire. And if you're not actually going to use it, it's just like a waste of money. This could easily be one of those things that you just buy, you use for a week, and you just never use again. So that would be stupid. So you have to have a use case for it. You have to be serious about what you do and actually think in a use case for it. So you would use it maybe as a warm-up routine if you know you're going to have harder workouts. You will use it after workouts, and you would use it on trips. Of course, many of you watching this are climbers, runners and cyclists, and you travel a lot, most of you, to competitions and holidays and different training areas if you're serious about your sport. And then this would be like a fantastic device to have along on your journey. Because I can imagine the next time, if the border is ever open, I'm going to Font, and having this for a 7-day climbing trip is just, it's gonna change stuff. It really is. So if you're anything like me and you like to train hard and do it many days in a row, you could do something with this, for sure. It could be a game changer, and not like in a totally crazy way, but it could change something for you, for sure. So this is kind of the use cases and what it is and how you use it in the clinic and such. Then if you're gonna get one of these dudes, there's plenty of others, and I say this is on the expensive side. There's plenty of cheaper options that is perfectly capable of doing the job. What you need to be aware of is the noise level. So how much noise does it make? Then you need to be aware of the hertz it goes on. I mean, how many beats does it do per minute? And then you need to know about the torque? Is it able to stall out easy if you want to work deep in muscles? I mean, this I almost can. I don't think I can stall this out. Yeah, I probably could, but I'm afraid I'm gonna break it or break myself. And then lastly, you need to look into the amplitude of it. The amplitude is how far it travels, and more is not better necessarily. This has quite a high amplitude. I don't remember if it's 1.3 or 1.6 centimeters, but I would say that's on the upper end of where you want to go, because what happens, I'll take a different head on it and I'll try and show you. What can happen is this clapping. So if you work on larger muscles, even smaller ones as well, you can have it pushed down so far and pull back really fast that the fibers you're working on haven't had time to like rebound with it. So it will just meet with a clap on the way back. And that's quite painful. You don't want that. I've tried that on a couple of my patients already with this one, and have to work with like softer heads or push a bit harder to be deep in the tissue and have it rebound fast enough. So it's this. This is not fun. You want to avoid this. So if you go for one that has like too much amplitude, the more amplitude, the easier it becomes to have this clapping effect. So try and avoid too much amplitude. I say in the 1 centimeter to 1.3 centimeters is probably a good place to be. Then there's the battery capacity. If you're going out far from electricity, as climbers often do, like if you wanted to go climb for an entire day and want to use this between boulders or sessions, you want a lot of battery, because not only are you going to use it, but every one of your damn friends is going to use it as well. So you're going to want at least like 1 hour to 1.5 hours per battery charge in this, because other way you're just going to run out way too fast. So get a large battery. Don't get too much amplitude. Don't get too much noise. And get one where you have a good range of hertz you can work in, so how fast it beats per minute. And that's about it. This is actually a useful tool for, I say, most serious athletes, and certainly for sure for physiotherapists in a clinical setting. So that's it for this time. I'll be back soon. I have a lot of gear we have to go through. Also, I have quite a few new climbing shoes and tents and stuff like this, and also a few treatment videos we have to make really soon. And if you notice that actually the quality of the video is a bit better, we actually got a decent camera. We've been working with mobile phones up till now, but it kind of changed. So see you in the next one. Please comment, like, subscribe. Bye bye.